Okay, real talk. You know that thing where you send a text that says, hey, and then you immediately panic because maybe hey sounds too casual, so you send another text that says, hope you're doing well. But now you're worried that sounds too formal, so you send a laughing emoji. But what if they think you're laughing at them? So you send LOL JK, but now you don't even know what you're JKing about. And suddenly you've sent 17 messages when you just wanted to say hi. Yeah, that's overthinking, and we need to talk about it. What's up, my fellow mental gymnasts? Welcome back to my channel, where we discuss the absolutely ridiculous things our brains do to us. Today, we're diving deep into the Olympic sport of overthinking. And trust me, I'm basically Simone Biles in this event. I have a PhD in making mountains out of molehills, a master's degree in catastrophic scenario planning, and I'm currently working on my thesis. Why did I say you too when the waiter said enjoy your meal? A 47-chapter analysis. So buckle up, buttercups. We're about to explore the wonderfully weird world of our overactive brains. Let me paint you a picture. Last Tuesday, I went to the grocery store. Simple task, right? Wrong. I needed milk, bread, and eggs. 3 things. A toddler could handle this mission, but not me. Oh no. I walk in, grab a cart, and immediately my brain goes, what if this cart has a wonky wheel? So I test it. Yep, wonky wheel. Do I get a different cart? Of course not. I spend the next 5 minutes trying to fix it by lifting it and setting it down, like I'm some kind of shopping cart whisperer. A store employee walks by. I make eye contact. Now I'm committed to this broken cart because switching would be admitting defeat. I push forward with my 3-wheeled chariot of shame. I get to the milk section. There are 47 types of milk. Whole milk, 2%, 1%, skim, almond, oat, soy, cashew, macadamia. Since when do we milk macadamias? Did someone look at a macadamia and think, you know what? I bet there's liquid in there. But I digress. I reach for 2% milk. But then I think, what if 2% isn't healthy enough? So I reach for 1%. But then, what if 1% tastes like water? Back to 2%. But wait, what if I'm lactose intolerant and just don't know it yet? Oat milk it is. But which oat milk? Original, vanilla, unsweetened? I spend 23 minutes in the milk aisle. 23 minutes! There are people who've planned entire weddings in less time. By the time I get to the bread aisle, my phone buzzes. Text from my friend, Sarah. Coffee later? Simple question. 2 words. My brain's response? DEFCON 1. All hands on deck. First thought. She wants coffee. I should say yes. Second thought. But what if I look too eager? Third thought. What if I look not eager enough? Fourth thought. What does later mean? Like in an hour? This afternoon? Next week? I start typing. Sure, what time? Delete. Too many exclamation points. I look manic. Sure, what time? Delete. Too bland. She'll think I'm not excited. Yeah, when were you thinking? Delete. Yeah, sounds too casual for someone I've known for 10 years. I settle on, sounds good. What time works for you? I hit send. Immediately regret it. Sounds good is what you say to your dentist when they ask if you want a root canal. I contemplate sending a follow-up text to clarify my enthusiasm level. But that would be weird. So I put my phone away. It buzzes again. Sarah, how about 3? Now I have to respond to how about 3? Perfect feels too enthusiastic. Works for me, sounds like I'm doing her a favor. Sure makes me sound bored. I spend the next 7 minutes crafting the perfect response to confirm a coffee time. 7 minutes. There are CEOs who make billion-dollar decisions faster than I respond to casual text. Meanwhile, I'm still standing in the bread aisle, holding my phone, looking like I'm having an existential crisis over carbohydrates, which, let's be honest, I kind of am. White bread? Too processed. Whole wheat? Too healthy. What if people think I'm trying too hard? Sourdough? Too pretentious. Multigrain? What even is multigrain? How many grains? Which grains? Are we talking about a grain convention in bread form? I pick up a loaf of ancient grains bread. Ancient grains. These grains are older than my grandmother. They've seen things. They've survived the fall of Rome. They've witnessed the invention of sliced bread and thought, amateur hour. But what if ancient grains are too hipster? What if people think I shop at farmers markets and own a kombucha starter? I mean, I do shop at farmers markets and I do own a kombucha starter, but that's beside the point. I put the ancient grains back. I reach for regular whole wheat. But now I'm second-guessing my entire grain philosophy. What kind of person am I? Am I a white bread person? A whole wheat person? Am I someone who cares about fiber content or someone who lives dangerously? This is how my brain works, people. I can't buy bread without having an identity crisis. After 45 minutes, I finally make it to checkout with my oat milk, whole wheat bread, and free-range eggs. Because yes, I also spent 20 minutes debating whether eggs needed to be free-range. Spoiler alert, I convinced myself the chickens could sense my guilt through the eggshells. I get in line behind a woman with a cart full of organic everything. She's got kale chips, quinoa salad, and what appears to be water that costs more than my car payment. Now I'm judging my life choices. Should I be eating kale chips? Am I failing at adulting because my cart contains actual bread instead of cauliflower bread? The woman in front of me is probably doing yoga right now in her mind. She's probably mentally planning her meditation session while I'm having a panic attack about my grocery choices. I start second-guessing everything in my cart. What if the cashier judges me? What if they think I'm not healthy enough? What if they think I'm too healthy and I'm trying too hard? What if they remember me from last week when I bought ice cream at 9 a.m.? Plot twist, I did buy ice cream at 9 a.m. last week. It was a Tuesday. Don't judge me. The cashier starts scanning my items. Paper or plastic, they ask. Oh God, paper or plastic? The eternal question. Paper is better for the environment, right? But what if it rips? What if I look like I don't care about Mother Earth if I choose plastic? But what if plastic is actually more practical? What if I'm overthinking a bag choice? Which I clearly am, but now I'm overthinking my overthinking. It's like Inception, but with grocery bags. I somehow make it out of the store alive. With paper bags, for the record. I'm loading groceries in my car when I realize something horrifying. I forgot the eggs. I have milk and bread, but no eggs. I had one job, 3 items, and I forgot 1/3 of my mission. Now I have to decide, go back in or live with the shame. Going back in means admitting defeat. It means facing the same cashier who just witnessed my bag breakdown. It means walking past the bread aisle where I had my grain crisis. But not going back means I failed at basic human survival skills. I sit in my car for 10 minutes debating this. 10 minutes. People have solved world hunger in less time than it takes me to decide whether to buy eggs. I finally go back in. The cashier sees me coming. They give me a look that says, "Oh, you're that person." Yes, I am that person. I am the person who forgets eggs and comes back looking defeated. I grab the eggs. Free range, obviously, because we've already established that I've convinced myself chickens have feelings. I get back in line. Different cashier this time. Thank God. They don't know about my bag crisis. Fresh start, new beginning, clean slate. Paper or plastic, they ask, and the cycle begins again. I finally make it home. 3 hours later, for a 15-minute grocery run. I'm putting away my groceries when my roommate asks, "How was the store?" Simple question, innocent question. My response should be fine, but instead, I launch into a 47-minute explanation of my entire grocery store experience, including detailed analysis of my milk choices, a comprehensive review of ancient grains, and a philosophical discussion about the ethics of egg purchasing. My roommate's eyes glaze over. They start doing that thing where they nod, but they're clearly not listening. They're probably thinking about their own grocery list, or wondering why they chose to live with someone who has opinions about oat milk brands. But I can't stop talking, because now that I'm telling the story, I'm realizing how ridiculous it all was, and that makes me want to analyze why it was ridiculous, which leads to analyzing my tendency to analyze, which is just more analyzing. It's analysis all the way down, folks. My roommate escapes to their room, probably to Google how to live with an overthinker. Spoiler alert, there's no manual. We're all just figuring it out as we go. Later that night, I'm lying in bed, replaying the entire day, because of course I am. And suddenly it hits me. I spent more time thinking about buying milk than most people spend planning vacations. I had a full emotional journey over bread choices. I created a fictional relationship with chickens I've never met. This is insane, but also kind of impressive. Like, the amount of mental energy I put into everyday decisions is actually remarkable. I could probably run a small country with the brain power I use to choose breakfast cereal. I'm like a Formula One race car being used to drive to the mailbox. All this horsepower, nowhere to go. And that's when I realize overthinking isn't actually about the thing you're thinking about. It's about control. I can't control whether people like me, so I overthink text messages. I can't control my health outcomes, so I overthink grocery choices. I can't control the future, so I try to plan for every possible scenario, including the scenario where chickens judge my egg buying decisions, which, let's be honest, is probably not a real concern. Probably. Here's the thing about overthinking. It feels productive. It feels like you're doing something, but you're not. You're just spinning your wheels. You're like a hamster on a wheel, but the wheel is made of anxiety and the hamster has a PhD in worst case scenarios. The solution isn't to stop thinking. That's impossible. The solution is to recognize when your brain is being a drama queen, when it's writing soap opera scripts about your life, when it's turning a simple grocery run into an epic hero's journey. Now, when I catch myself overthinking, I imagine my brain as an overeager intern. Oh, you want to buy milk? Let me create a 47-slide presentation about calcium absorption rates. You're texting a friend? Here's a detailed risk assessment of every possible response. And I'm like, thanks, brain, but maybe just chill. Sometimes you have to be the boss of your own mind, even when your mind clearly thinks it knows better. So there you have it, my fellow overthinkers. We're all just out here trying to buy groceries without having existential crises. And sometimes we fail. And that's okay, because at least we're failing together. In the comments, tell me, what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever overthought? I'll go first. I once spent 20 minutes deciding whether to use best or thanks to end an email. 20 minutes for 2 words. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this journey into the wonderfully weird world of our overactive brains. And remember, sometimes the best decision is the one you make quickly, even if it's the wrong one. At least you'll have time for more ice cream at 9 a.m. Peace out, overthinkers. May your thoughts be few and your grocery runs be swift.